Sweet on you.
By Carla de Guzman. December 19. Go on a date with me? He asked, because he really wanted to spend time with her outside of the fire escape, outside of the laneways. He wanted to keep making her smile.
Why do you keep asking me out?
She said, instead chuckling like the question was ridiculous. Gabriel frowned, immediately hurt by the question. It wasn't a rejection, per se, but he would have thought that she would want to go out on dates with someone she was sharing kisses on the fire escape with. Or maybe he was missing something? His sisters did always say that men could be dense about a lot of things. Is it making you uncomfortable? I'm sorry, he said quickly, because that was the last thing he wanted to do. He wanted to make her blush and smile. He wanted to see her kilig, not scared or uncomfortable. I'll stop if it is.
Oh no, 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 no. It's not. It's actually very flattering.
She admitted, and he could have sworn he saw her cheeks warm as she looked away from him.
Well, even if it's not real.
Why would you think that it wasn't real? He asked, suddenly and sharply. And he didn't mean to change the tone of the conversation so quickly, but Sari had touched a very sensitive nerve. Did you think I wasn't serious? Her eyes widened, although he wasn't sure if it was surprise. Oh, great job, Gab. You've officially freaked her out because of your insecurities. Sari is not your father. He didn't know why, but the voice of the conscience inside his head sounded like his sisters, all 6 of them.
I don't know,
She said, her eyes still a little wide, wary, and cautious.
it's just that everyone here keeps asking if we're together, and they think we're courting each other, and we've kissed. But last week I was planning your murder. It's getting confusing, to say the least.
How? He asked.
How is it confusing?
No, how are you planning on murdering me? He was genuinely curious. I've planned many a murder on our cat whenever he thinks my pant legs would make good scratching posts.
Oh, well, just the standard baking accident. Surely that super sharp knife wasn't meant to go into his chest. That kind of thing.
He shrugged, and he liked that she just went with it.
I don't exactly have a frame of reference for being asked on a date that frequently. You seem very sure of what you want.
Relief whooshed over Gabriel so quickly that he had to laugh. When you know, he told her with a shrug, as if life was that simple. You know?
Not really. I could be a snorer,
She said.
or really bad in bed. I could be a cat person when you're clearly a dog person.
Are you?
Bad in bed?
A cat person. He didn't miss her cheeks burning pink before she looked away from him.
No, but that's not the point, is it? How do you know?
Know what, Sari?
Know that you like me?
She asked him like he held all the answers to a secret she had been trying to know for so long. Gabriel shrugged like he did this all the time, which he never did. He always had to be the smooth guy, the cool guy, the big brother who knew everything because he had to be. He was older. People expected him to know everything. Little did his younger siblings know, he was struggling just as much as they all were. You make my cells rise, he started.
What?
I read it in a book. When you find something that makes you incandescently happy, it feels like all your cells are rising. Sari's brows met in between her eyes, and Gabrielle was sure she'd heard that before.
You got that from the life-changing magic of tidying up.
I did, but that doesn't mean it's not true. When I see you smile, I want to figure out what made you happy. When you get that little annoyed but amused crease between your eyebrows, I hope that I'm the reason for it because you think I'm funny.
I do.
And I want to take away whatever it is that's making you sad. And I'm not going to lie, I want to kiss you again. It's been 6 hours, Sari. I need you to kiss me again. Her cheeks immediately flamed even redder. And Gabriel couldn't help the little frisson of kilig that ran up and down his system. This charm offensive thing that was working really well for him so far.
Why don't you come over here and kiss me then?
Oh, sweetheart, is that a challenge? He asked, raising an eyebrow at her, like he was asking her to make it real. And that actually made her smile. It warmed his heart to know that he was the one to put that smile on her face. Because you have a bit of mango on your lip,
Oh, I do?
she asked, nibbling at her bottom lip.
There?
Just missed it. May I? He asked, and Sari nodded. Reaching out, brushing his thumb against the soft skin on the bottom of her lip, where a bit of mango still was. Then, he didn't know why he did it. He put his thumb against his lips and sucked. The effect on her was instantaneous. She sucked in a breath, her eyes wide and dark. Before she swallowed, he could almost hear her heart thundering in her chest as she looked at his lips. No, wait. That was his heart that he was hearing. His hands were on the side of her face now, his thumbs brushing against her cheeks. May I? He asked again, not knowing why his voice was so shaky.
Yes.
Sari's voice was breathless, but Gabriel still went in slow. He touched his lips to where the bit of mango was, as if expecting it to be sweet. Her lips were still wet from the juice as he tasted her. Sari sighed, her body relaxing against his hands. And then they were kissing, a mix of mangoes and sugar, mangoes and dark roast coffee.
Gab.
Sari pulled away suddenly.
Gabriel?
He liked the way she said his name, the way she emphasized the last syllable, the way they would in old-timey dramas.
Go out on a date with me,
She said. And he noticed that her hand was clutched at the front of his shirt, and he liked it. She tugged at him a little, and they kissed again.
I'm going to sing Simbang Gabi in the morning at the cathedral. Come with me.
Gabriel hesitated. His family was still very much on the religious side of the spectrum, but he hadn't gone to church in forever, even on the important days. A hazard of traveling, he'd said, but really, it was just that going to church reminded him of his family, and he needed a bit of space from them. And he wasn't ashamed to admit that going to a Catholic mass elsewhere around the world was just not the same as in the Philippines. The songs hit different in Tagalog.
I know that you can't make a wish since you missed at least 4 days.
Sari said.
But if you've never been to the cathedral, you can check it out. And I heard that you can also make a wish if it's your first time at a new church.
So many wishes. Who needs prayer? He raised his eyebrow. She shrugged. I suppose I could get Ransom to come in and put the bakes in the oven tomorrow. He'll hate me the whole day, but he'll get overtime.
Well, Ransom can have all the coffee he wants again if he comes in tomorrow morning.
Sari told him, and her face lit up with happiness. It was finally happening. He was going on a date with Sari Tomas. Sure, he never thought he would go on a date that included Catholic tradition, but then again, nothing about his experience in Lipa had been predictable.
So, you'll go with me?
Yes, he nodded. Consider it a date. Seal it with a kiss.
Okay.
She kissed his lips. A quick little smack that made him laugh.
Done.
Alae. He frowned, which made Sari laugh.
You're using it wrong.
You're incredible, you know that? He asked her. And he meant it in every sense of the word. He admired her dedication. He was awed at her strength. He loved that she knew when to laugh at the joke and when to challenge it. And she pulled really good pranks. Even if you've never tasted my baked goods.
How do you always manage to make that sound dirty?
She laughed, pressing her hands to her cheeks. It only sounds dirty because you think it's dirty. He pointed it out to her because he was good at that kind of thing. She raised a brow like she didn't believe him, and he couldn't deny that it stung a little. But really, I'm great at making cake. Children have cried. Women have tossed their underwear at me in offering. She stuck a tongue out and frowned.
You know, that doesn't sound appealing or sanitary.
I'm trying to give myself a rock star vibe. Is it working?
No.
She shook her head. The point is that you should really try my cake sometime.
Only if you try my coffee.
She said before she turned to him and ran a finger across his collarbones and down the middle of his chest.
I make it really hot.
Her voice dipped at the last sentence, and Gabriel could almost see her smiling wryly at him from the rim of a coffee cup, just before her lips touched the dark liquid. Her eyes were focused on nothing else but him, kindling a flame of attraction that he harbored for her. Gabriel cleared his throat to get the image out of his head. He'd barely calmed down from the kisses.
See? It's dirty when someone else does it to you.
Sari's tone was light as her laughter before she made her quick escape, heading for her side of the old warehouse. So, date?
Yes! Date!
She waved her hand behind her like this wasn't momentous, like it was no big deal, and like she hadn't told him how much she liked it just a few minutes ago. And it made him grin like an idiot. The entire place could be in total chaos and he would be absolutely fine. Good. Great. Happy. Utterly fantastic. Nothing could kill his mood. Absolutely nothing. Not when he just kissed Sari Tomas.
Sweet on You.
By Carla de Guzman.